So let's talk about Social Security benefits and inflation for 2022. Most of the time when we're talking about inflation, and we're certainly talking about it in a negative light. And usually it is because a dollar that I have today, Andrea, would not buy the same goods and services as it would on tomorrow. But thankfully, Social Security has a built-in mechanism known as COLA, the cost of living adjustment, that will allow people that when we're in a hyperinflationary time, you can have increases on those benefits. And here recently, we have a very unique announcement that has a lot of seniors excited about 2022, and that's what we're going to talk about in today's short educational video. So stay locked in. Hi, my name is Carson Graves, President and CEO of the Retirement Education Center.
And my name is Andrea Graves, Director of Operations at the Retirement Education Center. And the reason we've created these educational videos is to help to make the difficult and confusing retirement process simple.
Absolutely, Andrea. And we do this by incorporating a team of expert advisors ranging from certified financial analysts, certified financial planners, estate attorneys, insurance advisors, and other needed professionals to help us build a holistic roadmap that will let our clients know when, where, and how they can reach their retirement goals.
For the best retirement income planning advice, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the notification bell to be notified when we upload new videos.
Many people every single year anticipate an increase in their Social Security benefits. And so you can imagine when the headlines came out here recently about a 6.1 increase in Social Security benefits for 2022, you can only imagine how the seniors who are receiving this benefit are feeling right now. Now, of course, when you juxtapose that to what they received here in 2021 of only 1.3%, a lot of people are starting to feel like this is a move in a very, very good direction. But what you have to understand is that we are in some hyperinflationary times, and that is what your Social Security benefits are reflecting. And one of the other things that you want to take note of, even with the built-in Social Security benefit increases, over the last 19 to 20 years, even with those increases, Social Security has lost a third of its buying power. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that, don't run off to Florida just yet. Make sure that we temper our expectations as it pertains to this increase.
Well, Carson, I know that you mentioned previously that in 1950, there was a whopping increase of 77%. Do you think we'll see anything like that again?
As it pertains to inflation, Andrew, I sure hope not. Because if we do, that means that we are in some very strange times. What you have to remember is that we had that huge increase of 77% due to the fact that when Social Security was first implemented in 1935, for the next 15 years, there was never an increase. And so that was making up for all of those years that Social Security was lagging behind. And then, as I also mentioned, Congress got really smart, sat down in 1972 and made these increases automatic. So each and every year now, starting since 1975, we have been seeing increases according to what they call the CPI-W, the Consumer Price Index for wage earners. That is what your cost of living adjustment is being based on now. So what we're going to do today, Andrea, in our educational video is talk about this cost of living adjustment that we're going to be seeing here in 2022 and how you might need to be thinking about it for your overall financial budget. But before we do that, there are always two rules to retirement income that we always like to give you. And Andrew, what are those two rules?
Well, rule number 1 is to never run out of money, and rule number 2 is to never forget rule number 1.
All right, so let's talk about this exciting increase that we're going to be seeing perhaps in 2022 as it pertains to your Social Security income. Okay, so I want to just share my slides with you real quickly and just really educate you again about the cost of living adjustment when it pertains to Social Security. Now, as I've mentioned in other videos, it's really important that we understand what Social Security cost of living adjustments are based on. We talked about the CPI-W, that is the Consumer Price Index for wage earners. And so we're going to look at the basic things that people spend their money on, like food and beverages. This particular index shows that most people spend about 17% on those items, energy at about 5%. These are the major things that people spend their money on. Housing at about 41% using this particular indexing factor, transportation at 17%, and medical expenses at about 8%. But there is another index that people talk about, and what Congress is absolutely trying to see if they should make this change to. And this is a CPI-E. This is the Consumer Price Index for the elderly. So this is really important because they're talking about what basically the elderly are spending their money's on. So when you're looking at this particular index, food and beverages, they're spending a little less on that, 14%. Energy a little bit more at 6%. But here's the big one, housing. They look at the CPI-E basically saying that seniors spend more money on housing at 47%, transportation at 13%, and medical at 12%. That goes without saying, right? If you're a senior, you typically have more medical expenses than a typical wage earner when you're actually you're younger and you're out in the marketplace and you're still working. So it really makes sense that they take a look at this. They also have this CPI-U, which has not really caught on at all, because this is basically saying that you're going to police yourself. So as things get more expensive, they are expecting you as a consumer to just buy less expensive brands or products. Now, I presented this chart before in prior videos, but it's important for this video to understand why people are really looking at changing from the CPI-W to the CPI-E. From 2009 to 2021, you can see that the percentage increase over that 12-year time frame when using what seniors really spend their money on has actually been a little bit higher than the CPI-W. You can also clearly see here that your monthly check would be higher if you were a senior. Your Social Security monthly check would be higher if you were basing that off of the CPI-E as well. So it's really important. A lot of people are really wondering, is Congress really looking out for our best interest as it pertains to the cost of living adjustments as it pertains to our Social Security benefits? So before we get really too excited about the headlines of having our Social Security benefits increase by 6.1%, it's really important that we understand that is a projection right now. That is not something that's locked in stone, because we won't know until October of this year what that real increase is going to be for 2022. So here's how they come about looking at what your increase is going to be. They don't look at the inflation increases from these months here. This is only a gauge into what the inflationary matters would be. They really take a look at July, August, and September. So if we take a look at 2020, these were the inflation tickers during that time. 1% in July, 1.4% in August, and 1.5% in September. Therefore, you had an average of these 3 months here, which led us to a 1.3% increase in our Social Security benefits. Now, if we're looking at this year, we see January, February, March, we see April and May. Here's what the headlines are focusing on. In June, we had an inflation increase due to the hyperbolic inflationary environment that we're in right now of 6.1%. So we really haven't seen what's going to take place in July. We haven't seen any numbers for August, obviously, or September. But when we do, if those numbers are close in line to this hyperinflationary increases that we've seen this entire year since we've come out of the pandemic lockdown, then you can see why many people are very excited about having one of the highest increases in our Social Security benefits than we've seen in over a decade now. There's also a bill that I think everyone who's receiving Social Security or will be receiving Social Security should pay attention to. This bill is HR 4315. Now, it's been introduced to have Congress focus on making sure that the cost of living adjustment for Social Security will reflect the real rising costs for seniors from 1982 to 2011. If they do that, if they base that off the CPI-E, that annual rate of increase would have been 3.1% compared to using the CPI-W that they're currently using now, which would have been 2.9%. So very interesting there. Keep your eyes out for that particular bill. And hopefully Congress can come up to a solution to not cut the benefits for Social Security, but help increase those benefits long term. So I really hope that this video gave you some insight to how you might need to be thinking about your cost of living adjustment. Please remember that these videos are created for educational purposes only, and that you should always seek out your own financial advisor, your own attorney, and your own tax advisor as it pertains to your personal situation. If you are looking for a fiduciary advisor to help you with your financial matters, we highly encourage you to click on the link in the description provided below and learn how you can become one of our high-value clients. For more information about this particular topic or any of the other subject matters that we've discussed in our prior videos, please do not hesitate to reach out to our office or leave any questions or comments in the section below.
To learn more about our services and how we can help you to increase your chances of not outliving your retirement savings, make sure to click on the link in the description below and sign up for our free Maximizing Your Retirement Income Masterclass. After this video, please check out our other videos that we've created that will give you tips on how to maximize your retirement. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and share it with a friend. Thanks for watching, and remember, if you have questions,
we have answers.